Newcastle are in deep shit. Newcastle are in deep problems. They are absolutely losing it. You understand? Eddie Howe, it has just been reported that he is walking away from the job as the head coach of Newcastle. And it's pretty crazy because this has absolutely just opened the first domino. It has absolutely just opened the first domino. And a lot of people can talk about Eddie Howe saying, oh, you're jumping ship after losing to Bristol City. But that has not been the case because based on the reports from Dave Ornstein, Eddie Howe wanted to leave and told the hierarchy that he needed a break 2 weeks ago before they even played the game against Bristol City. He needed a break. But in my mind, based on the things that we have seen, we can absolutely ascertain that Eddie Howe is just tired of Newcastle losing players. He's just tired because this is not the dream that he was sold when he joined the club, when he kept the club up from going down in relegation. This was not the dream that was sold to him. He started hot. He brought in players like Bruno Guimarães, Joelinton. No, Joelinton came under Steve Bruce, if I'm not mistaken. But he converted Joelinton into the midfielder that he is right now. He brought in Tonali. And that midfield was arguably the best midfield in the Premier League. It was arguably one of the best midfield in the Premier League. And he gave them a title, a cup. In 70 years, Newcastle have not smelt a cup, defeating one of the best teams in the league that year. It was truly remarkable what he did. But he is walking away after losing the core of his team. Now, you could absolutely argue that he needed to refresh this team anyway because this team was getting older. And if there's one thing that Sir Alex Ferguson preached, is that you refresh, you get better while you are on top. It is better to change your team, to move and get better players while you're on top than to get it when you are struggling. Because that is the reason why we are seeing Newcastle struggle to sign players. We have seen the mistake that happened with Brian Obemo. We have seen the mistake that happened with Benjamin Šeško. We have seen a lot of people turn down Newcastle. And not just that. The worst part about it is that his core have absolutely started leaving. With Joelinton saying he wants to go to Saudi Arabia right now. Today. We have heard the news about Bruno Guimarães wanting to go to Arsenal. We have seen Anthony Gordon and Sandro Tonali leave. It is not surprising to see Eddie Howe walking because he already understands what this season is going to look like for Newcastle. But the truth about this situation is that when you look at the entirety of what has happened with the PIF, it is truly disappointing because I felt that they should have pushed the rules to as far as they could get in order for them to get the best players into Newcastle, but just have never done that. They have never tried to push. They have always stayed in between the lines, and I do not think that was a benefit to them. Now, in my opinion, I believe the idea and the movement of Bruno G, or the communication that Bruno Guimarães might be leaving Newcastle this summer to go to Arsenal, was what broke the camel's back. I believe that was what Eddie Howe just looked and was like, I can't do this. I honestly cannot do this. And we walked. And this is something that we have been able to see. It's a trend that we have seen with managers lately. We have seen that trend. Roberto De Zerbi walked out of Marseille. We have seen, what's his name? Crystal Palace manager saying, I'm going to be gone in the summer. So, what's his name? Marco Silva, also from Fulham, walked out. When they see that they have done their best and they have literally reached the ceiling in that particular club, managers are not scared to say, look, I'm going to walk out. And that is what I believe Eddie Howe just did. He just walked out. He just walked out. Because the discussion started talking about if Bruno G leaves, we are going to bring Danilo Santos as a contingency plan. Why wasn't Danilo Santos brought in to facilitate Bruno G to take a break? Because I understand Newcastle played Champions League last season, but that was one of the reasons why they ended up almost 15th last year. Because every single player kept on playing every single time, and it was high octane football. It was high pressing, it was high running, and they just couldn't keep up. Their legs broke down. And so Eddie Howe has walked away. So the question is, who is Jaissle? Who is Jaissle? Matthias Jaissle is a 38-year-old coach that currently coaches for Al Hilal. He has given Al Hilal 2 continental titles back to back, which is just like the Champions League, if I'm not mistaken. Back to back titles for them. He was absolutely going toe to toe with Al Nassr when it comes to winning the Saudi Pro League last season. It did not work because Al Nassr won it. Congratulations, Ronaldo. But he has shown that he has been a really good manager. Now, he's someone that has graduated from the RB or Red Bull Academy system of coaching. You understand? He also coached in Salzburg. While he was coaching in Salzburg, he promoted, and he was one of the people to see the likes of Benjamin Šeško succeed, to see the likes of Karim Adeyemi succeed, before Benjamin Šeško moved to RB Leipzig and then moved to Manchester United, with Karim Adeyemi moving to Borussia Dortmund and then Barcelona. But one person that I believe that he had a big hand in getting better was Pavlovic, that has now moved to Bayern Munich. So he does have a track record of making these teams and making these players better. Young players, to be exact. And I believe that this is the reason why Newcastle have gone and gotten him from Saudi. Now, getting him from Saudi after he just signed a new deal in September of 2025 arguably would have been a difficult situation. But it wasn't difficult because PIF, who is a Saudi-backed major stakeholder in Newcastle, and Al Hilal, I think were just speaking to themselves. And they saw a manager that was that good, and they basically just promoted him just the way Chelsea Blueco promoted how do you pronounce his name again? Liam Rosenior from Strasbourg to Chelsea. Now that did not work. Hopefully it's going to work with Newcastle. But based on what we have seen in Matthias Jaissle's acumen, he's someone that has passion. He loves the fast play of football. He does love his winger play. So I believe Newcastle have gotten a gem of a coach. Now the argument is, how is he going to be able to adjust to the Premier League? It might take him a long time, or he might come out literally swinging. But one thing is for dang sure, he is going to be getting a rude awakening, because going from Salzburg to Al Hilal in Saudi Pro League and now to Newcastle in the Premier League, it's going to be a culture shock for Matthias Jaissle. But now we have to look at the big picture, because this has to be rebuild. It has to be rebuild upon rebuild, because Newcastle have gone this whole financial retreat for a long time, and they just can't do that anymore. They have to back this manager and back him in a very good way. That has to be it. That has to be the focus right now. Because yes, I understand that he's a good manager. Yes, I understand that he's a clever man and he is young and youthful and coming with great ideas. But this team is filled with old players, athletes that are not tactical, are not technical. And this is a manager that loves technicality. This is a manager that is coming from the Gengen pressing situation, because Jurgen Klopp was one of the people that his whole facility or his whole mantra has been circulating in RB Leipzig. Now, I believe he was out of the system before Jurgen Klopp became the director in RB Leipzig. But one thing is for dang sure, based on the things that I've seen with him in Salzburg and with him in Al Hilal, he's a clever man. He's someone that has a lot of ideas. Some of them might be crazy. Some of them might be cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But one thing is for dang sure, Newcastle have somebody that is going to energize the fans. And energize the fans both on the touchline and also in his press conferences. So let me know what you guys think about this situation and this story entirely down in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.